Yeah, we're here driving on the highway running 14.2.2.2 FSD. And I just kind of got a thought that I want to talk a little bit about this couple of map data issues that I think have been plaguing FSD. It's possible it's really been plaguing Google Maps as well in some cases. But anyone that uses FSD knows that, and especially the current versions, the newer versions, is most of your issues come down to map data. Um, I don't know why it just has its turn signal on. Yeah, here we go. It's getting over now. I don't know why it really wants to get over to go to a slower lane, but it wants to. But one of the things I discovered recently, I took a trip to one of my gigs after work, and it took me on this really strange route when there was a lot of heavy traffic down the highway, and it's out towards Rockwall, which is a city that has grown massively over the last 20 years, but it's also on the other side of a lake. And so there's like two little bridges that go to it. And so it took me this alternate route, and I was trusting the map. I was trusting the map because it said it was all blue. But then when I got there, it literally, by the end of it, it added 40 minutes to my trip. So this is a trip that was supposed to take an hour and 15. It took almost 2 hours. And I was wondering why that happened. And in the middle of it, I looked at the map the whole time that I was there in the gridlock, and it was all blue. There was no red. There was no yellow like you see here. And then I just happened to also look at my phone, or what I did is I think I tried to send a text, maybe check something for work. I forget exactly what it was, but I discovered that my phone wasn't working either. Like the internet on my phone didn't work. And you get that a lot in the North Dallas area. If you go to the malls here, or you go to any shopping area that's even a little bit dense with shoppers, and the internet on your phone just doesn't work. So that's another subject. Also, Summon does not work on your car at all in those situations, which is basically the only time you would ever want to use it. So Summon's basically useless because it uses the cell data, but your car can't connect. And that's basically all of these North Dallas, Frisco, McKinney, even the shopping areas in McKinney, for those familiar with this area. But it's basically just areas where people do a lot of shopping. And so this part of, I think it was Rowlett or Rockwall, it was this part right by that bridge. It just showed blue, but then I realized my phone wasn't working. So that's when I put it all together. Google Maps, FSD, Apple Maps, it's sending people to these areas that are blue because it doesn't show there's any traffic. And the reason it doesn't show there's any traffic is because they're not getting traffic data in those areas because there's no service. And it cost me 40 minutes. Luckily, it's a gig I go to a lot, so I only had like 25 minutes to set up before we started playing. But we do it a lot. I can handle that, but it's really a huge problem that Tesla has to solve, and that is this map and traffic data. So that was just another layer. I mean, we know that the mapping info is pretty bad, and some of these routes, I swear, it's almost like it's gotten worse over the last year. Some of the routes that it takes, and it's there's this possibility that it's taking these weird routes because someone at Tesla, or Tesla is trying to have the car take these routes so it can test different things. I have no idea. I would hope that that's not the case because it puts you in real uncomfortable situations, and this is a live product that you're paying for. But I do know that over the last year, it takes more complicated routes. And so that's a big problem they need to solve. Oh, debris on the road. It avoided it. That's pretty cool. Didn't look like it was dangerous, but it was kind of strange. That might have been part of the slowdown. But like I said, it's always slow through here. But the bigger issue is I've noticed it does that. It does it really bad on kind of on the way to work in shopping areas. Is it will send you off the highway. It'll exit you off the highway to send you down a service road that is completely blue on the screen, but then you get there and you just stop and you're just in the stopped area and you just watch the minutes go up, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes to destination. And but yeah, that's because these areas have no service. They're not getting back the data of all the cars. And it's a chicken or the egg thing where they're not getting the data. So the maps think it's clear and there's no cars there, so it's sending everyone there, making it worse. Huge problem. And I don't know if people have this problem all over the country where you literally can't use the internet on your phone in big shopping areas because there's just too many people. But that's just how it is here. It's like that at my house sometimes, actually. And again, I mentioned this about Summon. It's the most useless feature that Tesla has. That I would, because it literally doesn't connect in big shopping areas where you need it. It connects at my work, but my work is in the middle of I think a pretty highly dense area all the time. So they probably have more cell towers for places that have lots of people all the time. But these places like in Frisco, like at the mall, or at some of these areas in North McKinney or Prosper, where there's just these big shopping areas that you just don't have any service. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and I don't know how Tesla's going to solve this. And I don't know if the fact that it's gotten worse over the last year has something to do with them playing around with solving it, like it's got to get worse before it gets better. I also don't know if Tesla's writing their own basic maps in Austin with those ground reference vehicles that have the big tall LiDARs on the top of them. I'm guessing they have to, because mapping data is basically the biggest issue, and it's going to prevent them from being unsupervised for complete drives. I have no doubt that they can do some sort of level 3-ish. You don't have to pay attention until it beeps at you. Yeah, that's a big problem, and I think that's where we're getting at with Tesla. They're doing they are working on parking lots, and they have to be working on this map data problem, because this is what's going to rear its ugly head as they get the AI models where they can drive, is the maps not being able to help them enough to complete the drive correctly. I know they're working on a reasoning layer. That's what they say. 14.3 is supposed to have a reasoning layer. And maybe that's how they're going to do it. They're going to reason like a human does, just reason with their eyes. Technically, if you had a blank map, but you just had a point to go to, maybe it could just figure it out by looking at the roads and like out the window, like looking at what's in front of it. That's what we used to do when we were kids. We kind of knew the general direction to go, knew kind of where it was. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.